Have you ever felt a haunting emptiness, like a piece of your soul is missing? For centuries, humanity has been tormented by one burning question. Does true love even exist? We chase it, we lose it, and we ache as relationships crumble like sand in our hands. You're not alone. Millions right now are drowning in spiritual loneliness, trapped in hollow connections, or haunted by the ghost of someone they swore they'd never lose. But what if I told you Carl Jung cracked the code to an unbreakable soul bond, a love so deep, not even death could sever it? This isn't fairy tale nonsense. Jung discovered a forgotten truth. Genuine love isn't a feeling, it's a cosmic force. It defies time, distance, and human frailty. Souls aligned in this sacred sync don't just survive, they thrive, evolve, and never let go. In this video, I'll reveal Jung's three-step secret to unlocking this eternal connection. You'll learn how to 1. Stop chasing dead-end relationships. Most people are stuck here. 2. Spot the difference between addiction and authentic love. This will shock you. 3. Awaken a bond so powerful, even separation becomes irrelevant. This changed my life. But first, smash that subscribe button. Seriously. Thousands watch these videos but miss life-changing updates because they're not subscribed. Don't be that person. Join the community now. Every click fuels our mission to heal broken souls with Jung's forbidden wisdom. Now, let's dive into the one truth that will rewrite your love story forever. According to Jung, love is a manifestation of the collective unconscious. Not just a personal experience, but a universal force that connects us to something greater than ourselves. This is why, when we experience true love, we feel as though we have found a lost part of our soul, as if we are completing a puzzle that has waited to fall into place since the dawn of time. This phenomenon is no coincidence. It is what Jung described as the union of opposites, the meeting of two energies that complement and attract each other on a deep, inexplicable level. Have you ever felt that someone entered your life at the exact right moment, as if fate conspired to make that encounter happen? This is one of the most powerful manifestations of genuine love, synchronicity. Jung spoke of synchronicity as events that appear coincidental but are actually signs of something deeper unfolding in our psyche. When two souls are destined to meet, the universe finds a way to unite them, no matter how far apart they are or how many barriers exist between them. But here arises a crucial question. If genuine love creates an unbreakable connection, why do so many relationships fail? Why do we feel we've lost people who once meant everything to us? Jung teaches that the primary reason is that many relationships are not based on authentic love, but on unconscious projections. We do not truly fall in love with the other person, but with the image we project onto them. We see in the other what we want to see, not who they truly are. The process of individuation, a key concept in Jungian psychology, helps us understand why some relationships seem destined to dissolve while others endure forever. Individuation is the path toward wholeness, a process where we integrate all parts of ourselves, including those we've repressed or denied. In a genuine relationship, both individuals become mirrors for one another, reflecting both light and shadow, mutually challenging each other to grow and evolve. This is the kind of love that is never lost, for its foundation is not dependency, but mutual expansion. However, for this connection to endure, we must face a critical challenge: the shadow. Jung taught that the shadow encompasses everything we refuse to see in ourselves: repressed emotions, traits, or desires we hide out of fear of rejection or disapproval. The problem arises when we fail to confront our shadow. We inevitably project it onto the person we love. This is why many relationships that initially seem perfect end in conflict, resentment, and pain. It is not that love has vanished, but that each person's shadow has come to light, demanding acknowledgement. Genuine love is not only a source of happiness, but also a powerful catalyst for transformation. It is not designed to keep us comfortable, but to propel us toward our deepest evolution. This is why souls truly connected do not seek each other solely out of love, but because they have something important to teach one another. These bonds awaken the unconscious, forcing us to look beyond our illusions and confront our rawest truths. When two souls are truly united, even physical distance or separation cannot break their bond. Jung spoke of a profound principle in the human psyche. What is truly aligned with our being does not disappear, it transforms. This means that even if a relationship appears to end on the physical plane, its impact on our unconscious remains alive. This is why there are people who, though no longer in our lives, linger in our thoughts, dreams, and emotions. Their energy persists because they have left an indelible mark on our being. If you've ever felt a connection too strong to fade, if you've sensed someone's presence even in their absence, it is because that bond existed not on the surface, but in the depths of your psyche. These are the relationships Jung would describe as archetypal connections, those that touch the deepest layers of our being and transform us in ways we may not fully comprehend. But here lies the key. Genuine love does not mean possession. Many believe that because a connection is strong, they must cling to it at all costs. Jung teaches that real love does not chain, it liberates. It does not cling out of fear, but trusts that what is authentic will always find a way to remain. When we try to hold on to someone out of need or fear of loss, we act from unresolved wounds, from a shadow terrified of abandonment. True love, the kind that is never lost, is the love that allows us to grow without restrictions. It does not seek to complete us, because it understands we are already whole. It does not seek to fill a void, but to share from the abundance of who we are. This is why relationships truly destined to endure are not based on dependency but on interdependence. Two complete beings choosing to walk together not because they need each other, but because they recognize each other. Here we find the ultimate answer. When love is genuine, two souls never lose their connection, because that connection does not depend on external circumstances, but on each individual's inner truth. No matter how much time passes or how many paths cross along the way, what is real at the soul level transcends any limitation of the material world. The question you must ask yourself is not whether true love exists, but whether you are willing to confront yourself to experience it. Genuine love is not just a gift. It is a responsibility. It requires courage, authenticity, and the willingness to look within, beyond your fears and projections. It is there, in the depths of your being, that the answer has always resided. If genuine love is a connection that transcends time and distance, why do so many people feel they've lost someone they deeply loved? The answer lies in the difference between authentic love and unconscious attachment. Jung taught that many of our relationships are driven not by true love, but by hidden psychological patterns rooted in our unconscious. This means that what we often perceive as love is actually a repetition of unhealed wounds, an unconscious attempt to fill emotional voids carried since childhood. The problem is that attachment disguised as love breeds suffering. It makes us feel we need another person to be complete, ties us to the fear of loss, and drives us to control, demand, or expect others to act according to our needs. But genuine love does not work this way. According to Jung, real love blossoms when two people have worked on their individuation, when they've faced their shadows and learned to be at peace with themselves. Only then can they experience a connection rooted not in lack, but in mutual expansion. A fundamental truth emerges here. You cannot truly love someone if you have not first known yourself. Most relationships are marked by projections, the unconscious tendency to assign another person qualities that actually belong to our own psyche. Jung explained that when we fall in love, we often do not see the other as they truly are, but through the filter of our own experiences, desires, and wounds. This can create the illusion of a deep connection when, in reality, we are only seeing what we want to see. This is why many relationships begin with fascination, but crumble over time. The initial projection fades, and we start to see the other with greater clarity. Here, many people feel they've lost a connection with someone who once meant everything to them. But what has been lost is not love, it is the illusion. This is a beautiful revelation, for it is in this moment that the opportunity arises to build a real connection based on truth, not projections. Authentic love is not blind. It does not idealize or place the other on a pedestal. It is conscious of imperfections and accepts them, understanding that true connection is not about finding someone perfect, but someone with whom you can grow and evolve. Jung explained that when a relationship is genuine, both individuals become catalysts for each other's growth. They do not stagnate in comfort, but challenge one another to face their shadows and evolve. Here, many make a mistake. They believe conflict in a relationship signals the end of love. But Jung tells us that conflict is, in fact, a necessary part of the individuation process. It is in conflict that the unintegrated parts of ourselves are revealed. In a genuine relationship, disagreements are not obstacles, but opportunities to deepen the connection, to better understand the other, and, above all, to better understand ourselves. Real love is not a fairy tale. It is not about avoiding pain, but being willing to face it together. It is not about avoiding the shadow, but integrating it into the relationship. When this happens, the connection becomes unbreakable. Two souls who have undergone this process cannot lose each other, because their union is not rooted in need, but in the mutual recognition of who they truly are. This brings us to another key point. Genuine love does not always mean being physically together. Sometimes, the best way to honor a true connection is to allow growth to happen separately. Jung reminded us that authentic love never chains, it liberates. If two people are destined to be together, the universe will find a way to unite them at the right time. If not, the lesson they were meant to teach each other has already been completed. This is why many feel certain loves never fully disappear. Even if circumstances separate them, even if years pass without meeting, the connection remains alive in the depths of the unconscious. This occurs because the impact of genuine love is not erased. It transforms. That person's presence may continue to manifest in dreams, memories, or moments of introspection, not as a burden, but as proof that the relationship left an indelible mark on the psyche. This leads us to an even deeper truth. At the soul level, there is no loss, only evolution. Jung taught that life is not about clinging, but about learning. Everyone who enters our life does so for a reason, and every relationship, no matter its duration, leaves a lesson that prepares us for what lies ahead. In this sense, genuine love is never lost, because what truly matters is not physical permanence, but the internal transformation that connection has generated within us. So, if you've ever felt you lost someone with whom you shared a profound connection, ask yourself, have you truly lost them, or has that relationship fulfilled its purpose? For when love is authentic, its impact endures even if its external form changes. The real question is not whether the connection still exists, but what you've learned from it, and how it has changed your way of loving. Genuine love is not a story with a predictable happy ending. It is a journey of self-discovery, integration, and growth. When two souls are truly aligned, their connection does not depend on time or space. What unites them is not possession or dependency, but the mutual recognition that they have shared something greater than themselves. A love defined not by permanence, but by the transformation it leaves in each. Herein lies the great lesson. Everything in life changes and transforms, but genuine love, the kind born from the depths of our being, never fades. It may take new forms, express itself in unexpected ways, but it never disappears. When two souls have vibrated at the same frequency, that energy is never lost. It becomes part of the universe, part of the grander story of our lives. What matters is not whether the person you shared that connection with remains in your life, but what you've done with that experience. How has it changed you? What part of you awoke thanks to that love? For in the end, genuine love is not just about finding someone. It's about finding yourself through that connection. True love is not a destination, but a process of discovery. When you understand this, you realize you've never truly lost anything. You've only grown. And that, ultimately, is what truly matters. Genuine love is, in essence, a process of transformation, an alchemical fire that shapes us, forces us to confront our shadows, and inevitably leads us to a higher version of ourselves. It is not about finding someone to make us feel complete, but about discovering, through the relationship, the parts of ourselves we have yet to acknowledge. Jung taught that authentic love has a purpose beyond pleasure or companionship. It is a catalyst for awakening. When two souls are deeply connected, love ceases to be merely an emotion and becomes a bridge to self-knowledge. It helps us see what would otherwise remain hidden in our psyche. This is why the most intense connections are often the most challenging. They confront us with what we do not want to see and compel us to evolve. Yet herein lies the paradox. Though genuine love awakens the deepest parts of our being, it also confronts us with an undeniable truth. We cannot possess anyone. We cannot cling to love expecting it to remain static. For the nature of love is movement and transformation. Trying to hold on to someone out of fear or need goes against love's very essence. Jung would tell us that true love is not possessive or controlling. It is free, expansive, and conscious. This is where many suffer, confusing love with attachment. Attachment says, "I need you to be happy." Genuine love says, "I love you because I recognize in you something that is also part of me." But I know we are two individuals with unique paths. It is in this distinction that we find the key to understanding why some relationships seem to fade, while others endure beyond time and distance. When a relationship is rooted in real love, it does not need constant validation or absolute certainty. It does not cling desperately to permanence because it knows the connection does not depend on physical presence, but on something far deeper. Two souls that have vibrated together in harmony never lose their connection because their union cannot be broken by external factors. What truly matters is not whether they stay together in this life, but whether they have transformed each other in a way that endures forever. This leads us to an even deeper truth. Genuine love does not need a conventional happy ending because its purpose is not to fulfill an idealized story, but to provoke an awakening. There are loves that stay for a lifetime, and there are loves that arrive to show us something fundamental before continuing their journey. In both cases, the impact is eternal. This is why Jung invites us to view love from a higher perspective, not as a goal to achieve, but as a process of soul expansion. When we understand this, we cease to fear loss. We stop seeing the end of a relationship as a failure because when love has been real, it never disappears. It becomes part of our essence, our story, and who we are. If you've ever felt you lost someone with whom you shared a deep connection, stop focusing on the absence and start asking, how did that love transform me? What parts of me awoke thanks to that bond? In what ways do I still feel its impact on my life? For the truth is, when love is genuine, it never leaves, breaks, or disappears. It simply changes form. Here is the great lesson Jung leaves us. Love is not something we seek outside. It is something we discover within. When we learn to see ourselves with the same depth with which we've loved others, we realize the true connection, the one never lost, is the one we have with our own essence. Genuine love, the love that unites two souls beyond time and circumstance, is the love that does not seek to possess but to understand, not to control, but to liberate, not to fill a void, but to reflect the best in each other. When you experience this kind of love, you know it can never be lost, for what has been real in the soul is eternal. Perhaps now you understand that love does not end when a relationship does. Perhaps now you see that what you've experienced was not a loss, but a transformation. And perhaps, just perhaps, that is what you needed to hear. If this message resonated with you, if at any moment in this video you felt there was a truth you needed to hear, I invite you to do something important. The knowledge you've received is not just for you. It is profound wisdom that can transform the lives of many who have yet to discover these truths about love, connection, and the evolution of the soul. Share this video with someone who needs it, someone navigating doubt, loss, or inner seeking. Sometimes, a message at the right time changes everything. Leave a comment below sharing which part of this message touched your heart or a personal experience with unbreakable connections. Your words will not only help this message reach more people, but also create a community where we can reflect on these truths Jung taught us. If you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications. Every video we share aims to take you beyond the superficial, helping you understand the power of your mind and the mystery of your soul. When you engage with this content, YouTube's algorithm shows it to more people, meaning together we can spread this knowledge to those who need it most. Remember, genuine love is never lost. Truth never fades. Knowledge is the bridge that unites us. Thank you for being part of this community, for listening, and above all, for expanding this wisdom into the world. We'll see you in the next video.